Welcome to another episode of 5 Minutes in Horror Haven with Matthew Fisher. I'm your host, Matthew Fisher. We have a guest with us today. We have the Lord. We have the Lord with us. I'm feeling his light. Look at this optical illusion effect. Today's episode, we dive into J. So we're going to jump into a film called Juan of the Dead, 2011. I didn't get a chance to check this out when it first popped off, but I did hear a lot about it. Directed by Alejandro Brugge, I believe, who's known for, he did some Nightmare Cinema. He was attached to that. He was attached to ABC's At Death 2. And I think he did a couple episodes of the, if maybe not a little more than a couple episodes of the From Dusk Till Dawn TV show. But Juan of the Dead, fun film, very fun film. You know, of course, it's like homage to its predecessors, like Shaun of the Dead, you know, which is probably the biggest influence on it. Next to Dawn of the Dead, of course, that influences all of them. But this is very comedic, horror comedy, good stuff, you know what I mean? And, you know, the gore in it's really cool. It's a fun story. The production value is actually really pretty high on it. It's subtitled, so if that turns you off, you know, you just gotta learn how to read. You know, no big deal, man. You can do it. I have complete, utter faith in you motherfuckers. You know what I mean? But yeah, Juan of the Dead. If you can get your hands on a copy of it, very fun, gory, you know, creative. You know, there's a lot of style to it. The story is real fun. You know, from Cuba. You know, shot over there in Cuba, which is always a beautiful thing. You know, I like the foreign films, and there was no exceptions for this one. I thought this one was really good. You know what I mean? Really fun. Real fun gore stuff. They mix it up. They get some of the practical and digital, of course. But still very fun movie. And I would recommend you checking out Juan of the Dead. Oh, yeah. Now, this week's vinyl showcase comes from a film that me and another filmmaker, Mr. James Lamond, who's just on the Shock Treatment with Mel and Maddie podcast show, we got into a little discussion about this J-lettered film, and whether or not people consider it horror. They don't, and they do. I do. James does. And I do because this is a film that comes under the radar. I think it's PG, but it may quite easily have had the biggest effect on the audience in traumatization, so to speak, where this is a film that I think everybody's kind of touched by it when they see it, and you know, it stays with them. Me personally, I can say that I seen this film as a young child, and it kind of messed with me a little bit and made me not want to go into, you know, the scenery of where this film takes place, which would be the ocean, you know. So anybody who's putting the clues together right now, they might be able to figure it out. But I will say, Number J's soundtrack of the week is a little film. Dun 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 dun. Woo! It's the Jaws film, ladies and gentlemen. Very nice. Mondo put out this really good edition of it, which is Big Pimpin'. I do have one sad thing to say about this release, is that I got this release thinking that this release was going to be a certain color vinyl, and it's not, unfortunately. They just hit me with the black, which isn't the worst thing, but they do have a really super cool blue, white, I think ocean frothy colored one. That's really cool. But as usual with Mondo, you know, the artwork is super cool. You know, we at the Lord here is not really wanting you to see what's going down, but we're going to show you anyways. And yeah, you know, it's got some nice liner notes in it, which you gotta, you know, what vinyl record is incomplete without some liner notes, you know what I mean? So there you go. You've been warned. Go check out Juan of the Dead. And if you haven't yet, listen to this soundtrack, Jaws. It's devastating. And go try and find the blue and white swirl vinyl. That's the one to have, not the black. Black lasts longer, I hear, though. It breaks down less, deteriorates harder. But I'll catch you all in the next episode of 5 Minutes in Horror Haven. And that's that. Wow!